Hi, I'm Ross Shafer, and during my talk show years, I got a chance to interview a lot of fascinating people. And I want to share an interview that I had with John Corbett. You know him from Northern Exposure and Sex and the City. And what will impress you, I think, is how down to earth he is. Here's John.
We're very lucky to get it at this point where it isn't jammed. Usually there's a lot of people. Here's John right here. Hey, John.
Hey,
how you doing? Good to
what's
see you.
going on? You know my partner Rick?
Rick, this is Rick.
Yeah.
This is the dark side.
Yeah. Welcome
dark
to the
side.
Phoenix.
Oh, I've been here before. This is great. Look, I'm so give us some perspective. First of all, I am 6'5". John and Rick are around 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm 7'1".
Everybody in this club is what are these guys doing over here?
These guys are getting ready to sound up 3-track Mine. We're down here, we might as well tell them it's only about 8 o'clock.
Right.
The club's not open for another hour. And so we do a sound check, and these guys are all with the band. And
Well, let's go. Can we sit by your bar?
come on.
All right, let's go over here.
All right.
How did you get in the bar business?
Well,
I'll have you sit. Why don't you sit over there?
I'll tell you. Rick had a club called the Phoenix Cafe. And I used to go down there all the time. It's really the only place I went. And one night, it was like a Wednesday night. This was about 3 years ago. I used to go hear Isaac Scott there all the time. And Rick didn't expect it to be so swamped. And, I just used to go in there and have a drink, listen to the band. He couldn't move. There were so many people in there, and he was the only one working behind the bar. Glasses piled up everywhere. And, I used to be a bar back. So I said, hey, you need a hand? He said, oh, I could appreciate that. So I went back there, and I started washing glasses. And I did that for about 3 hours. And so we had a camaraderie. So every time I went down there after that, he got swamped. I didn't even ask. I just went back, started helping with glasses.
Well, what do the customers think of it? Because they recognize you from television, I'm sure, and think you're the bartender, or they say, you look like the guy on Northern
that's
Exposure.
what I got. I'd be all sweaty washing these glasses, and they'd go, hey, did anybody ever tell you look like that guy on Northern Exposure? And I'd go, man, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that, I'd be a rich guy. And, so we decided to go into business.
Do you ever get behind the bar now?
Oh, yeah, I get back there all the time. Yeah, and my motto is if I serve them, I don't charge for them, so.
Oh, really?
I just get back there and,
Gee, you shouldn't tell our audience this. Don't tell them that, John.
Come on down,
This place will really be packed.
Yeah, we're doing all right. And it's a lot of fun, getting back there and really working. Acting's fun. It's good, but it's not work. You work behind the bar for an hour. You're working.
Bar backs or waitresses who have done it for years and years know that.
Yeah.
Well, like you came from a blue collar kind of background. Didn't you work in a steel mill or something?
Yeah, my dad was a welder, and after high school, graduated in '79, and went right to work in the Boilermakers Union. Working in a steel factory out in by San Bernardino, California. I did that for about 5 years. Yeah, and I hurt my back. That's why I got out of that. And went to a junior college, and that's where I discovered acting. Man, I for 5 years I worked 60 hours a week.
So what made you think that acting might be the next thing for you?
I went to this junior college to try to further my education, and I lasted 2 weeks, and I was ready to drop out. I couldn't, they fly in school, chapters every night, and I was depressed, and I was in the cafeteria one day eating a chicken fried steak. I'm a vegetarian now, 8 years. I was eating a chicken fried steak and some French fries, and these kids were sitting down about 10 feet down those long cafeteria tables. They're kidding around, they're laughing and saying things. I can hear, it's not very crowded in there. I start interjecting a little comment here and there, they laugh. They say something, I laugh, and then we all moved down, and they said, are you in the theater department? I said, no, They were like 18, 19 years old, and I was 25. And they invited me to come check out their class, and I had a couple hours to kill before another math class or something like that. And I walked over there, Ross, and I went in this theater, and it was just, it was wild, man. It was black, curtains everywhere, black painted blocks, seats, not even seats, just like stacked wedges to sit on. And
This is like the first time you've been in a theater almost?
the first time. I saw one play till then. It was West Side Story, and I saw that at the Long Beach Civic Auditorium. And I'd never been, backstage or done anything like that, no high school plays or anything. And I'm in this dark room in the middle of a sunny California afternoon, hot. It's 80 degrees out in here. It's cool. The AC's on. it was like comfortable, you know. It's just I settled in, and they started doing improvs, and I'm watching, going, oh my God, man, they're just making this stuff up, and I'm thinking of funny ideas, and then finally, the teacher asked me, I'm not even in the class, if I want to come up. A lady named Georgia Well, and I go up there, and I start doing improv, and you know, I pull a gun on someone with my finger, and you know, make them stand on their head while I rob a 7-Eleven or something. And man, it's for the first time, I had an audience of people who appreciated me, like, coming up with some ideas, and it just went from there. I worked 8 hours on this commercial, and I made $30,000.
Oh my goodness!
These checks would come in the mail, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, plus the $2,000 I got for the day's work. I couldn't believe it. 8 hours work, and I'm getting checks for months and months. And that was one commercial, and in 4 years I did 50 national commercials like that. It was amazing.
That's the most successful commercial actor I've ever heard of.
Well, it's not the most successful, but it was the most 10 or 11 days work a year, you know, for $100,000. You know, and it would just come. These checks would come. I just stick them in the bank. I wouldn't even, you know, I didn't even know what to spend this money on. It just kept coming. It was like a mail-in thing, you know, where you like checks just come. It literally, they just would come and come and come. Sometimes I didn't even, you know, open a stack of checks for a month or two.
You know, I think there's about 50,000 actors that are really enjoying this part of the conversation.
It happens to a lot of people. So many actors I know, once they get a commercial success, the feeling's the same. They get stacks of mail with checks in. They just don't know what to do.
The Black Star beer commercial.
Yeah, the Black Star beer is another one.
If the story is true that I heard,
yeah.
You made like $1 million.
Yeah.
And then no one saw the commercial.
Yeah. Well, people in Seattle. Hi there, people in Seattle.
So this might be the bar that Black Star
Look,
built.
I have Black Star up there. You see it on the shelf up there?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
That's
I have
the famous Black Star beer.
Yeah, they quit promoting Black Star, and I thought, well, they've been very good to me, and I'll have a little shelf just for them. Behind every great beer is a great brewmaster, and Black Star is no exception.
I met Mr. Minot in 1905. Working for Alexander in that brewery was a privilege and an adventure. We made, and we still make, a darn fine beer.
I mean, the leads in these plays like Hair and Marathon 33, I'm not even in the school, you know? And,
maybe it's because you figure, I haven't got anything to lose here. I can just do this.
And I didn't have to work because I was on disability for my back. So that's how I was able to do that.
You can support yourself.
And then they rehabilitated me, and I went to hairdressing school. By that time, I moved to Hollywood, which was 2 years later.
John Corbett's in hairdressing school?
I went to hairdressing school, yeah.
It's like Ringo.
I've always fancied having a ladies' hairdressing salon, you know, a string of them, in fact, and trot round with my stripes and my tails, you know, like a cup of tea, madam.
Well, Danny DeVito became a hairdresser. He was a hairdresser for a lot of years.
All these guys wanted to be hairdressers.
Mickey Rourke was a hairdresser, yeah.
Was it just something that you, because it was art-like, or you just wanted to do it?
I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to wait tables.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make my own hours. And I thought, you know, hairdressing, you know, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, doing lawns, you know, but on people's heads. You might want to show Elvis up there, too. Because
yeah. Now,
I have the king.
You love Elvis, and you have a collection of Elvis stuff.
I bought Elvis's credit card, the only existing American Express credit card signed, and the official handwritten document of his birth by the doctor who delivered him in Tupelo.
That is amazing.
Yeah, in 1935. It's really cool. It's this little birth booklet, and right before the previous pages, he had a twin brother named Jesse Guerin, who was stillborn, and his entry's in there, and it's really weird. Like, it's Vernon Presley, you know, occupation, labor, age 17, you know, Gladys Smith Presley, age 21, housewife. It's a really strange little document. And
Is that eerie?
yeah, it's very
To think
eerie.
that you have Elvis's birth certificate?
Yeah. Joe Esposito, who was Elvis's best friend in the Army, was with him till the day he died. I met him in Las Vegas, and we switched numbers. You know, he came up and said, "I like this show." You know, we can't imagine how much stuff we bought with that card. Blah blah blah. Told me that Elvis actually had the card, would take it out of his wallet, give it to Joe, and Joe would buy it, and Elvis would want it right back. You know, and put it back as well. And he wrote a book, being Elvis's best friend, that's coming out I think in a couple months. And it's not a slamming book. It's kind of a well, it is a slamming book, sort of. But he just said his wife's not going to be very happy reading it. You know, his own wife. So he includes himself in a lot of the shenanigans of the king. But he was just a neat guy, man. Yeah, I'm a big Elvis fan.
When I saw you in Tombstone play this smart-ass drunken gunslinger,
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. And was it fun to play?
yeah, it was fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, the St. Crispin's Day speech from Henry V. Set the scene.
Damn Barnes! Shot the damn ear off.
If we are marked to die, we are now to do our country loss. But if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor.
He's got some nerve, I'll say that. What do you think, Billy Neely?
Today shall be my
I think he's wonderful.
I kind of like, when I watched that movie, I kind of like just laughed to myself because, you know, that was more faking and stuff and acting than doing this show. You know, this show I kind of make it real and kind of try to, you know, speak from the heart. Then it came my turn. Graduation from student, I became teacher. Chance to give back what had been given to me, light somebody else's fire. What did I do? I blew it. Plain and simple. I flamed out. I flunked the course. A student came to me with a desire to know the time, and I told her how to make a watch. I'm not a trained actor, though. You know, I'm not, I know what sounds real when I say it and what doesn't, and that's about the only technique. And I listen to what the other actor's saying, and that's my whole technique. You know, and if I'm saying something and it doesn't sound real and it doesn't feel real, then I know it's not working, and let's try it again.
Are you ever intimidated if you're in the presence of somebody who might be a trained actor? Doesn't intimidate you?
Because I listen and I speak the truth. You know, I try to make whatever I'm saying, you know, yeah, I'm going to say that to you today 100 times, so it's not going to be truthful, and I'm going to tell you I hate your guts and never want to see your face again if we're doing that scene today. But, you know, each time I say it, I'm going to try to say it as real and truthful as I can. And as long as I'm doing that, you know, I can hold my own with anybody.
Hey, John, do you really hang out with movie stars?
I don't live down in LA anymore, so I don't get to meet famous people, you know? And everybody thinks that, like, actors know each other and blah, blah, blah. And I went to the Emmys and the Golden Globes, and seriously, I didn't talk to anyone because people just walk by. Like, here comes Robin Williams and, you know, and Harrison Ford, and, you know, and it's so weird to see, like, Harrison Ford and Robin Williams pass each other and really not say hello, you know? It's kind of it's a weird thing, you know. And I didn't talk to anyone. I mean, I talked to my dad, you know, who I went with, you know, and we're like stargazing, you know. And it's just it's a weird environment.
Are you like your character Chris in the morning?
I mean, a lot of me is in there, but I certainly, you know, I'm not like the character, but I am the character just because I play the guy, you know. So it's a fine line, you know. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're saying, because
I don't feel that.
I think that good actors have a lot of themselves in the character.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be a whole person. They wouldn't bring a whole person to the character. So I think a little bit of the actor comes out anyway.
It has to. I mean, people like, let's use Jack Nicholson. People say what a great bad guy he is, and you know how good he is in those kind of roles. I have a hard time believing that Jack Nicholson's not a lot like those things in real life. That he really treats people badly sometimes, and is insensitive to their feelings, and is a selfish person. You know, I mean, I have a hard time believing he's not like that. You know, I'm just using an example that if you see a guy who's Kevin Costner, I have a good feeling that Kevin Costner is a warm family man who cares about his kids, cares about his wife. You know, yeah, he can play a bad guy like the movie with Clint Eastwood, you know, where he's the killer. But he took this little kid under his, you know, even when he's a bad guy, he's gentle with this little boy.
John, what do you do for fun?
Let me show you a little bar trick here. This is called the Corbett Flick.
Oh, that is very good.
You want to try that, Ross?
I'll try it. I want to see you do it.
Yeah! Then when you get really good, you can catch them real high like this.
Oh, how many hours have you spent doing that?
Too many.
John, this has been great. I appreciate having you take the time with us.
Oh, man.
It's been great.
Thank you,
Good to
Ross.
see you again. And if there's any chance we can get you to sing, I would love to have a little of that on tape.
I'm going to do a little song for my buddy Ross Shafer. He's down here doing a nice story at the underground. A little song I wrote out in a trailer park in Buena Park when I was about 8 years old. You guys ready? Ready. All right. Okay, start. Let's start playing together.
I want to try the trick again.
Yeah, you never did this?
No.
Yeah!
Oh, I did
Thank you very